Thank you very much for watching Prime Edition. Time for the business news. My name is Betty Kiptum. Kenyans should not expect tax relief anytime soon. Instead, they should prepare for more tax measures, according to Chief Economist and Government Advisor David Ndii. He explained that as long as Kenya remains under the International Monetary Fund program, implementing higher taxes is part of the agreement to ensure fiscal discipline and debt management. Speaking during the annual NCBA Bank Economic Outlook, Dr. Ndii further says Kenya's fiscal policy is shaped by the need to reduce its public debt and meet IMF benchmarks, which often means passing the burden to taxpayers. NCBA Bank projects the Kenyan economy will expand by 4.8% of GDP, driven by agricultural productivity due to favorable weather conditions and the services sector in 2024. However, the growth will remain flat in 2025, attributed to lower disposable income, increasingly unpredictable tax environment, geopolitical tensions, and high interest rates.
Protests. Speaking at the NCBA Economic Outlook, Chief Economic Presidential Advisor David Ndii says Kenya's fiscal policy is largely being driven by the need to reduce public debt and adhere to IMF conditions, which often leads to additional tax burdens on citizens.
When you're in an IMF program, you are in the receivership. There's no relief. You're only going to get relief when you come out of receivership. When companies are in receivership, what do? They cut costs, they lay off people.
He cautioned Kenyans to temper expectations for tax relief, stating that to close the budget deficit and increase development spending, the government must broaden the tax base and target a 22% increase in tax revenue.
If you need to spend 24-25% of GDP, you cannot have revenue of 15% of GDP, because then you are talking about deficits of 7, 8, 10%. So you must either scale down your ambitions, your development ambitions. If you think you have an expenditure problem and your revenue is 15%, then you must scale down your development ambitions to be able to spend 17% of GDP. You cut down on education, health, infrastructure investment. How much relief do we provide at this point in time? At this point in time, zero.
NCBA Bank CEO John Gashora added that debt interest payments will consume 38% of tax revenue in the 2024-2025 fiscal year, reducing only slightly to 35% in the following year.
It is clear that this fiscal year will deny the authorities the necessary resources for development spending that is so essential to our medium and long-term growth prospects. Of even greater concern to business enterprises is the fact that tax and statutory deductions remain on a rising and unpredictable path.
Looking ahead, the bank projects that Kenya's economy will grow by 4.8% of GDP in 2024, driven by increased agricultural productivity due to favorable weather and expansion in the services sector.